everybody, welcome back to Post Farms. It's another beautiful day here, Halloween day actually, October 31st. We're kind of finishing up doing some vertical tillage on some corn stalks today. This is actually the last field of corn stalks we have to work this fall with this tool. Tried working them a week ago. We spread lime on this field, and it had been almost 3 weeks and it never had enough rain to even settle the lime down. It was so dusty, so we quit on it. Did get about 8/10 of rain Tuesday night, Wednesday I believe, and we're back at her today. It's still dusty and the ground's still hard, but we're going to work them anyway. Been running the disc ripper some this week. You know, the farms have been getting some rain along, works pretty nice. These farms down here to the south, we haven't had any rain all fall, and it is hard. This is probably doing the poorest job of going in the ground of any place I've been. Like I said, this is, you know, a couple days behind an 8/10 inch of rain. I'd kind of like to see it chew the stalks up a little bit more, but you know, 3/4 of this field is going to get the disc ripper ran through it probably next week, and the main reason we're running the vertical tillage across it is for that other quarter of the field that breaks off, has some dry dams, rolls a little more. We won't run the ripper through that, so it's kind of nice to get the vertical tillage ran through it, and then you know, kind of manage that residue a little bit, and it'll work a lot nicer in the spring. If you just leave those areas that don't do anything to them, then it's especially if you want to run the field cultivator next spring, they just don't want to go through it very well. So, and we've kind of figured out it's easier just to do the whole field than it is to try to run around and do all the areas that you're not going to run the ripper. So, and it'll size this stalks up a little bit, and when we run the ripper, you know, it'll just make it that much nicer next spring, trying to get it through the field cultivator as well. So, what we're pulling is a 30-foot Great Plains Terramax. This thing was new last year. Had a little trouble last fall with it, just occasional little things with the right wing wanting to ride up once in a while. This fall we've been having absolute terrible time with it. We just kind of had to figure out how to baby it along. It uses 2 inside cylinders are master cylinders, and then the wings are slaves, and it gets out of phase. And we kind of figured out we have to run down pressure on the wings, you know, and we have to run constant hydraulic in the raised position, turning on the ends. Otherwise, this thing will get out of phase. The main section and the left side will seep down, the right side will come up, and then you have a terrible time getting it back leveled up. It's just been a nightmare. Great Plains they've been down once, and I don't know, it sounds like now they've got a bunch of machines doing it, and they're trying to find a fix, but I think we're probably going to end up screwing around running it all fall, being a problem, and hopefully this winter they'll finally come up with a fix, because I think we'll be done this fall before they ever get it fixed. So, and anybody else is doing it out there, make sure you leave me a comment, we'll compare notes and see what's going on. everybody, welcome back to Post Farms. It's Monday, November 3rd today. We're in the one of the 310 Magnums and pulling the 730C disc ripper today. Hopefully it'll be the last day of running the ripper. We're down to about maybe 25 acres left to run this afternoon yet. Never just realized I hadn't really taken any video doing this. I tried to get the drone to pick up. I might have to swing by there and see if I can get it up in the air. I'm trying to get you some video here in a minute, but my windows are so dirty I'm not sure that you guys will be able to see any better than I can. Sprinkled Saturday just enough to make a mess, and then yesterday morning we had fog and frost, and I'm sure this tractor was a mess when that all finally thawed off yesterday. And it was wet again this morning, heavy dew, and this thing's a mess. The sun shines in them just wrong, you can't really see where you're going. Might be able to get you some video from in here, may not. This will show up. The other day when I was running the vertical tillage, I talked about how we ran it over all the acres that we were going to run the ripper over, because some of the rough areas in the fields we don't run the ripper, and by running the vertical tillage across them, that'll allow us to get those stalks through the fuel cultivator next spring. So if this is showing up here, you can see around these dry dams and stuff, these low areas where water runs, we don't rip them. So that's a good example of why, what I was talking about the other day. When it's easier to just go ahead and run the VT over the whole field than it is to go back and try to hit all those spots. Welcome back to Post Farms, everybody. Unfortunately, I seem to have lost all my GoPro footage from the tiling project this fall, so do a quick little voiceover here and explain quickly what you're watching in case you're from an area that installing field tile is not a common practice. It is around here. Probably everything you can see in the background of these pictures has field tile in it already. What it is it's a 3-inch perforated plastic pipe that is plowed into the ground at about 30 inches. Like I said, it's 3-inch tile on 30-foot centers, and down on the end where they're starting their runs is an 8-inch main tile that runs to a ditch for surface, so the water can exit to the surface into that ditch. And then they'll plow to the other end, and the plow is laser guided, and it will put it on a specific slope so that any water that enters the green tile will flow to the west end, into the main, through the main, and out into the ditch. It'll take a really wet farm and turn it into something that's very productive. Anyway, we're doing something a little different this afternoon. We have the old school disc from probably the 1980s out here, discing down some tile lines. The contractor just finished installing field tile on this 20 acres today, and now we're out here trying to kind of level them up and disc in between them, and get ready to be able to get anhydrous put on it yet this fall, and it'll be ready for planting corn next spring. So we're just pulling this disc up and down them, trying to level it up a little bit, break up some of the thick chunks, and get it so it's manageable for the anhydrous fuel bar. It's going to be a little rough, but there's no need of getting them too worked down yet this fall, because they're going to settle over the winter, and then next spring before we plant, we'll do a final trip of trying to get them leveled up and smoothed up.